Sounding exquisite.
Oh shit, we back again. What's up, what's happening? Come to the party and bring a friend. Fuck it, I'm bringing 10. Ooh, tryna chat a 10. Big boy tryna chat a 10. She said I was catchy. I said, yo, tap him in.
Touchdown!
Double cup, wow, I stuck smile when I puff loud. I touch clouds, catching touchdowns in my mind now, cause I'm zoned out. On a porch couch in the cloud. 2 coughs and I'm back now. 2 coughs and I'm packed out. Somebody give me a drink before I gotta sit down. I'm making hits now with a smooth style.
Oh, yeah. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Riley Puddin Peters. With me, another respectable gentleman, the doctor, defensive backs quality control coach, Preston Rowe. It is the Trash Talk Tailgate. And happy Easter, happy 420. Welcome to our last live stream before the NFL draft. And we've got a lot to talk about. Dr. Preston, how you feeling, man?
Dude, it's Easter. It's a great day. It's 420. I know that's more for you, but I'm excited, man. It's draft week. Draft week is officially here. Love it. Who's going to fuck up? That's what I want to know. Who's going to fuck up? Who's going to be smart?
We assume almost every NFL team is going to fuck up. I mean, that's just –
There's like a handful that I'm confident will not.
Yeah. No, it's true, man. And, you know, that's it. I mean, today we're here to talk about what I will fully admit – we're going to talk about what I will fully admit is Dr. Preston's draft board.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got some people that you want to talk about. And I think the first one is Texas A&M defensive end Shemar Stewart. Edge, whatever.
Well, for those of you that don't know who Shemar Stewart is, he's a 3-year player from Texas A&M, and he's an edge rusher. So you'd think, he'd be very disruptive and he'd have a lot of production, and that's why he's projected as a first-round draft pick. If you thought that, you'd be wrong, because Shemar Stewart in 3 years at Texas A&M had 4.5 sacks and not a lot of production. Riley, for those that aren't good at math, that's 1.5 sacks a year.
No.
Does that seem like a first-round draft pick to you?
Yeah, no, that's an elite Myles Garrett type end.
And to me, I'm glad you brought that up, because everyone's like, I'm seeing him being compared to Myles Garrett, and that to me just shows you how lazy we are, like, in media and, so-called experts. The only reason he's being compared to Myles Garrett is because they both went to Texas A&M. Like, that's it. Like, yes, they might have similar measurables, but Riley, do measurables win you football games?
Listen, man, I don't know what you're talking about. Doing stuff in your underwear for time in front of a crowd of people is football.
Yep.
I mean, that's it, dude. He out broad jumped Myles Garrett. He's obviously going to be able to get more sacks than him in the NFL.
Obviously, because he had a further broad jump than Myles Garrett, he's going to be better than Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett was a production machine at Texas A&M. He balled out. Shemar Stewart, he's a freak athlete. That's why he's projecting and skyrocketing up these boards, because he balled out at the combine. We talked about him already. He is a classic case of underwear Olympics overhype. Like, yes, he flashes, but he's not consistent enough in terms of production. If he's that freak of an athlete, he should be dominating SEC offenses. Like, if you are that much of an athlete that you run, I think it was a 4.5 40, and you display that kind of athleticism, you should get more than 1.5 sacks a year. So to me, a lot of people are saying he's a project, and yes, he is a project. But to me, it's not even that he's a project. In order to be a project, you have to show some semblance of being a good football player.
Yeah.
He's a great athlete. He's not a good football player. Don't tell me, Texas A&M, he was a part of that loaded 2022 recruiting class that Texas A&M was number 1 in the country with Jimbo Fisher. And, he had Shamar Turner, another defensive lineman on that roster. He had Walter Nolan for a year in that recruiting class, who then transferred to Ole Miss for his last year. He had Nick Scorton, probably going to be maybe a second-round pick on the defensive line. So don't tell me, he was being double and triple teamed. That's why he didn't have all that production. He flashes, but he's not productive. He's a great athlete, but he's not a great football player.
Yeah.
That's the problem I have. Like that article that you just showed, the Carolina Panthers taking him at 8. Do you know how far that would set your team back? Like, if you're taking a guy in the top 10, you expect him to be a Pro Bowler or all-pro caliber talent. What has Shamar Stewart done that makes you think he'll be anywhere close to that? Because if you are that level of talent as a football player, you dominate the SEC. Like if you are that level of athlete with that level of football player, you dominate the SEC like Myles Garrett did. Like we've seen Will Anderson Jr. do. Like Michael Williams did. We're going to talk about him.
Like we see this article, this guy that this article compared him to, I just saw, Jadeveon Clowney.
I think that's a better comparison.
Yeah.
Because when Jadeveon Clowney went number 1 overall, granted, he did produce. Like he terrorized Clemson for 3 years at South Carolina, as I'm sure you can remember. But he had so much more production. His problem was just, he doesn't have great technique. He's a freak athlete. He doesn't have great technique. And he's been a great run defender in the league. But I think as a first overall pick, he's been a huge disappointment because he hasn't been that pass rush specialist you want out of a first overall pick.
Yeah.
I think Jadeveon Clowney is a much better football player than Shamar Stewart is.
For sure.
Now, it's like teams are going to be enamored by the athletic ability and by the potential that he has. But like I said, potential doesn't matter if you're just not that good of a football player. Like, there's nothing like he's a freak athlete. Like, go ask the Colts how much potential helped Anthony Richardson become a great football player.
Yeah. What drafting on potential will get you, man? Well, yeah, nah. Like, and that's the thing is there's a side of football that is the most important side if you're playing the game that is just discounted because most people don't get it, and that is the mental side. That is stuff like awareness and just what people in football, they call it the nose for the football, right? It's just the seeming inherent ability to like know where the ball is going and where people are going to be, right?
Yeah.
And some guys have that and some guys don't. Yeah. And this guy, it's not for lack of playing. I mean, I'll go back.
I mean, he started, also, he was in there. Yeah.
One of his highlights here, I saw this.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of a bad play because it's this right here. Let's go back to where it starts. All right.
Okay, so he's in the circle. Yeah.
He's
number
read
4,
option.
just so you know.
He's number 4 in this one.
Yep.
It's a read option or an option, whatever. And, he just overcommits with no one outside.
He's lucky he wasn't penalized for that.
Well, also, not only is he lucky that he's not penalized for that, Dr. Preston, back me up here. In an option scenario, if you're this guy, your job is to make sure no one is your job is contained. Your job is to keep everyone inside of you because you have no one out here.
You have to make the quarterback make a decision.
You have to force it into the field over by the logo as much as possible because there's no one out here. All these corners are back here.
He just runs straight for the quarterback
with no thought.
No.
And because he does that, Look at all this space. And
look,
this is his highlight film. This is his highlight film. You know what? I got to. I can't not. Hold on.
10-foot 9-inch broad jump, 40.5-inch vertical, 4.43 40. I just think that this is like the eye opener. This was the wow.
So we have found a flaw in Joe Burrow before the combine really gets underway. 9-inch hands.
They skipped on me. That's their luck.
The moral is, you go watch the tape.
You watch the tape.
Watch the tape.
This is just, I mean, because look, it compromises the whole defense. Because look, now that linebacker has to play inside. Like, he's supposed to scrape over at the outside, but he has to try and make a play by going inside, which is something he's not taught to do, just to try and make a play on the running back.
And honestly, he's in a bad position. He's in a
He
no-win
is.
position anyway because of that. Like, this linebacker has to be an All-American 99 overall, all of the achievements and like X factor perks you can get to make this kind of tackle. Just because this dude, he's got a lineman. Yeah, no, all right, that's a
wide receiver.
Wide receiver.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
He's got a wide receiver on him, and it's just like, that's on his highlight film.
That's so bad.
Now this one's not bad. Now this is one thing. You get a guy with a length like him. They always have that get there. Hey, look, one of his 1.5 sacks from whatever.
One of his 1.5 sacks, Riley.
Also, his consistent production of 1.5 sacks is amazing. I'm going to go back to his stats here. Literally, his consistent production. He actually got 1.5 sacks every year. It's not that it averaged out. It's not that it averaged out to him getting 1.5 sacks every season. It's that he only got 1.5 sacks every season.
Riley, look at that. He had 14 solo tackles in his career.
Yeah.
As an edge rusher.
No, these are all different seasons. That's not his career.
Okay, I got you.
But he only had 30.
He had 14 his last year. Okay.
Oh no, he had 30. He had 30.
He had 30. That's 10 a season. So that's
yeah.
I mean, Riley, that's almost one tackle a game.
I mean, that's top quality work though, you know?
Yeah, dude. I mean,
and he didn't it's not like he spent a lot of time injured, right?
No. He's been healthy.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like
I don't like I said, dude, it'd be one thing if he was bending on tape, if he was showing consistent flashes of, okay, he might not have the best production, but this is something we can mold. But he's just not that good of a football player. Like, he's a freak athlete. And I'm telling you, dude, go ask the Colts what it's like to draft solely on potential.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not good.
It's not good. I mean,
especially not wasting a top 10 pick on athletic potential.
This is a dude, and Riley, I also want to make this point. I don't understand why the NFL does this. Like, I've always had this philosophy when it comes to the draft. Now, this is another reason that you should hashtag hire the TTT. I've never understood why you would take a really big boom or bust pick like in the first round. Like, because if you're drafting high in the first round, you can afford to not hit on players because your team probably sucks. You need all of the great football players you can get. This is a dude that if I'm a team and he's still available, I don't think he'll be available then, but if you have like a 5th round pick, you take a flyer on him.
Yeah.
Because if he hits, you look like a genius. But if you take him in the first round and he misses like a lot of, like I think he's going to, you look stupid. You look incompetent. Like, take the safe picks. Take the great football players to help build up your roster early on in the draft. And then if you think you can take a flyer on a great athlete that you think you can maybe mold into something, that's when you take a guy like that in the later part of the draft.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. If the Panthers take him over a guy like Michael Williams or Jalen Walker, or if Mason Graham's there, like even Walter Nolan, like they're just setting themselves up for failure.
Yeah. And it's all for the sake of that article said it would all be for the sake of scheme fit, which is just crazy. Also
Okay, well,
check this very quality highlight.
Okay, let's watch it.
It's him missing a sack.
Oh my God. But dude, he got in the backfield. He actually got pushed into the backfield. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like he doesn't use his hands well. He gets off balance a lot. Like,
how is that a highlight? How is that a highlight? That was a highlight for him. What is up? What is that? Why is that a highlight? This is look. It's him not being able to beat this left tackle, and then letting the quarterback escape.
And look, he doesn't even run after the football. Okay, he made like half a tackle there. Okay. Again, dude, he just runs right at the quarterback.
Literally athletic talent saving him.
Yes.
Athletic talent and teammates. If it wasn't for that, this dude could have been gone.
Yes.
Honestly, this dude should have been gone. He missed a running lane. Oh, this is played before. Hold on. He misses this running lane right here. Look, this dude could have been gone.
Yep. I mean, but Jack Lee, if you're that freak of an athlete, you make that sack on Lenore Sellers. Like, yeah, I'm sorry.
They're billing him as a top 10 pick.
Yes.
It doesn't matter who you're sacking. That open of a sack, you got to get it.
Yeah.
That's him not stopping a dude on fourth down.
These are his highlights, Riley.
That's him short. All right, sorry, second.
Oh my God.
That's him letting a dude get a first down. I mean, here we go.
You see flashes like he got knocked back.
No, he's a crazy good talent. It's not that he's not a great player. That's the thing. He plays Division I football in the SEC. This dude's a monster that would dominate most football fields he steps in.
Yeah.
He's not a top 8 pick.
No, he's
and
not.
Definitely not a top 8 pick because he ran a 4.59 40 and broad jump 10.8.
Yep.
Lenore Sellers could go in the first round, but also
I mean,
not this year.
No, I don't think so.
He is a youngin.
He
will be dangerous.
Lenore Sellers needs to get better as a passer for that to be a discussion.
Yeah.
But I get what Jack Lee's saying.
For sure. No. It's just the fact that this dude's highlight film has so many non-highlights is just, I think, indicative of watching the film on this guy. He is just it's inconsistent.
It's very inconsistent, and that's not what you want from a top 10 pick. Like, could I see him going like round 2 or round 3? Yes, I could, because he is a freak athlete.
I think you could get him in the end of the first round if your team needed an edge and it not be that crazy. Like if you're like 25 or later and you're like, I just need this kind of edge, I wouldn't even be like, I mean, I think you're kind of still wasting it, but I wouldn't say you're stupid.
Well, would you be happy if the Commanders got him at 28?
Well, we don't need the position.
Okay.
I would be pissed. I would be so pissed if we took him. We don't need the position though. If you needed an edge that likes to only attack the quarterback and not play his contain assignment, then he's right there. You could take him. You know, if that's what you're looking for, you know, you want someone to blow containment on the edge for you. Hey, listen, go get him. But no, this dude is a second round defensive end. And that's still really good. Just want to put that in context.
But he has a lot of work to do.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like it seems like nitpicking when you're going through stuff like this, but it is because these are the decisions that make or break franchises. We're talking about a team like the Carolina Panthers who've been struggling for years, and they have a top 10 pick to try to make the best decision for their future to try to compete in the NFL. And they're going to get a dude whose highlight film involves a lot of him not doing great stuff.
a lot of him just not doing shit, to be honest.
Yeah. If we're talking about them taking him in the second or the 8th pick of the second round, all right, hey, listen, I'm listening.
Yeah.
I'm listening. But we're talking about the 8th pick overall. I can't be sold that argument. I can't be sold that argument.
No.
Not especially when you have someone like Michael Williams.
Yeah. Yeah. Riley. I wanna make another point real quick.
All right.
Because if you haven't, if you haven't already subscribed to the TTT, you should definitely go subscribe to the TTT because we have a lot of great draft shorts coming up this entire week leading up to the draft and even some more after the draft. We got you covered on the draft end of things. But one of my favorite players in this draft is Michael Williams. I love Michael Williams because – so here's the difference, Riley. To me, in terms of potential, if you say that a guy has potential as a football player, like he has a really high ceiling, the first thing I want to know is what is his floor? Because if he it's like a Zach Wilson or an Anthony Richardson. Like, yeah, they might have had a really high ceiling, but if your floor is he's not playable as a football player, then what are we doing? Like, you need to have production as a football player. And that's how I feel about Shamar Stewart, in case I didn't make that very clear. I don't think he's a very good football player right now. I think you would be insane to draft him in the top 10 or even the first round. If you I think you'd be insane. Whereas a guy like Michael Williams, if you want to flip over.
Here we go.
Michael Williams at Georgia, this dude is a baller. And he produced. Michael Williams produced at Georgia. I mean, the first thing when you watch tape that stands out on Michael Williams is that he's just a freak athlete and he's stout. He's stout at the point of attack. A lot of the times when you watch Shamar Stewart come off the edge, he had small hands. Did you see that, Riley? Like he wasn't extending.
He was allowing guys to get up into his chest and get a hold of his pads.
Yes. With Michael Williams, you don't see that. Look at his extension. Look at his arm extension. And that allows him to be stout at the point of attack and be able to dominate the line of scrimmage and be able to take the offensive lineman wherever he wants to go. And he was also incredibly productive at Georgia. And, he's 6'5", 260 pounds. And look, he stands up. He's standing up a lot of times. So, the fact that he was so productive while having really bad technique, to me, is a green flag because that is something that you can coach him out of. But he stands straight up a lot of the time. And the fact that
he went stand up and just threw his body this way, and that's how he made that tackle. That's actually kind of beautiful. He's
6'5", 260 pounds, and he was productive at Georgia.
Yeah,
and
as an
he
interior
has
defensive
bad
lineman,
sometimes.
Yeah, as an interior defensive lineman who would once rely on raw size just to make plays. This right here, this is the apex of it. Look right here. So he gets his body in. This dude gets connection. He then fights. It's hard to see from this angle, but this dude is now fighting. He's got his arms separated, and he just throws his body off. Boom, tackle.
Yeah.
That's what you're looking for. That's what you're not getting with the other.
Yeah. And he was productive at Georgia. And the fact that you can mold him into something.
Talk about that. Hold on.
It's just that gets me excited. I think Michael Williams should be, if it wasn't for Abdul Carter, I think Michael Williams would be the best edge rusher in this draft. Abdul Carter, I think, is just such a cut above in terms of technique and just his explosiveness off the edge.
Yeah.
And his inside spin move is ridiculous. But, like, I love Michael Williams, dude. Like, if I'm Carolina and he falls to me at 8, I am running that pick up to the podium.
Yeah.
Because that is a dude that I can build around, because I know he's not even scratching the surface of his potential. And he also already has a very high floor. So I know I'm going to get production out of him.
Yep.
Well, like with Shamar Stewart, you don't know what you're going to get. Dude had 1.5 sacks a year at Texas A&M.
I mean, Michael Williams is averaging 4.5, 5 to be accurate on it. The difference is stark if you just look at the numbers.
Yes. And I mean, if you watch him, he blows shit up. He blows shit up at the point of attack. He creates nightmares for offenses, not just quarterbacks, but for offenses. And it's because of that just raw, just get off and that extension.
Yeah.
I love Michael Williams.
Look at this. This is against a Clemson team whose whole game plan is send a lot of bodies at the point and try to run there.
Yes.
Especially at this point in this game. So, look, he is finding his way through everybody and still being there to make a play.
And he just walls that running back through an offensive lineman.
This is him in coverage. Boom. Diving a cut. Making connection. Oh, dude, listen. This is one of my – this right here. No, all right, he's playing UMass, and that makes a lot more sense because I was about to say he just little boyed this dude. This tackle right here. No, the guard. Yeah. Sorry, this guard right here. Michael Williams gives him the little brother, put a hand on your chest, and you can't touch me. Look right here. He's got one hand on that offensive lineman's chest, and he's like, you can't touch me. I'm just gonna do what I want to do.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
I mean, yeah, listen. This highlight film is highlights. This man does crazy stuff. If you're
he blows shit up.
If you're a team sitting at 8th overall and your choice is Michael Williams or Shamar Stewart, which it could be, that's a realistic option.
Well be. Yes.
This is a realistic scenario. We're not talking dream scenarios. This is realistic for these teams. Get the guy that is producing at a school that is a consistent contender, for a coach that has made lots of top-level NFL prospects already. How is everybody missing the Howie Roseman math? Michael Williams is going to fall to the Eagles.
You're going to be disgusted if the Commanders pass on him.
Oh, yeah, we don't need an edge, but I would be disgusted.
Because if you don't get him, you know Howie's going to.
I know, right? He's gonna. Howie's gonna get one of him or Malachi Starks. We'll talk about him later.
Yeah,
he's gonna get something Georgia nasty.
And Riley, here's the other thing. He suffered a broken ankle in the season opener against Clemson. He played the rest of the year on a broken ankle. And he was still producing so much better than Shamar Stewart.
Yeah,
I don't just watch the tape, man. Just watch how he ragdolls offensive linemen.
That was good.
And he's not even scratching the surface of his potential as a pass rusher.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that.
Yeah, that's like all this, and he really isn't a finished product. There's some things that could really be worked on that would make him far more effective, I think.
Like I said, dude, he stands straight up a lot of the time. Look, he stands straight up. Like he still wins. Yeah, and he still wins. And that's against Texas. And look at the pursuit. Look at the hustle of this dude. This dude, I love the more I watch him, bro, the more I'm like, he could be a top 5 pick. Like, I mean, fuck it, dude. If I'm a GM and Michael Williams is sitting there, I fucking take him. Oh my God, do I take him? Oh, look at that extension, bro. And then
playing volleyball.
Yep, he plays volleyball. Playing volleyball with Quinn Ewers. I mean,
I mean, he really is, dude. This is just rapid fire highlights. This man being amazing. He really is. Like, it is kind of crazy, man. He is just a missile. Seek and destroy. That ability, like you're seeing in all of this, that ability to just find where the football is going to be. You know, he's making dude. That's great hands.
Yeah,
that's a great example of his hands right there.
Look at him.
Oh, this is the one before.
Yeah.
This one.
The next one. Yep.
Look at that.
Look
the
at
way
that
he's engaging. This dude's hands almost can't get on him right here. Then all he gets is this. That's a lazy grab. He's got extension with his other arm. That's an easy swim. And
but Riley,
that's a holding. I mean, if a ref sees that, that's a holding on that tackle. So either you get to make a tackle, or this offensive tackle gets a holding.
But Riley, run that back real quick, because I just want to point out something. Because you made a great point about his hands. Okay, run it. Okay, run it just a little bit more. Okay, look how low the other defensive linemen are. Like, look at that dude on 76. And look, Micah Williams is almost standing straight up.
I mean, yeah. He is standing straight up, but he's also made.
That's Kelvin Banks.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but the thing is, he's standing straight up, but because he's so strong, he is making this dude also stand straight up. So it's actually he has made it an even game with one arm.
Yes.
And then like I said, man, this is from here. You got this guy in just a holding call. There's nothing. He has to let him go just to keep the flag from coming out.
I don't get it, man. Like, if you just compare and contrast the highlight film, bro, like, it's a no-brainer.
Because I want to go back. I gotta go back just to this Shamar Stewart.
He plays with small hands. You know, he uses his shoulders a lot, which I hate. Now, you can be coached out of that, but it's like, if you're not producing at the college level, what makes you think he's going to produce at the NFL level with really bad technique? At least Michael Williams dominated college with with not great technique. So you can mold him into something.
I mean, they are directly acknowledging that Michael Williams should be on the board for him, and they are suggesting Shamar Stewart.
That's insane.
That is like this article, if you really break it down, this article is saying, hey, Shamar Stewart, that's literally what this sentence says, almost word for word. Shamar Stewart and Michael Williams will be on the board at 8. They're assuming. Neither produced that much in college. Now,
that's insane.
Go eat one, because Shamar Stewart didn't produce much. 1.5.
No, he didn't.
Michael Williams, 4.5, 5. Sure, that's not winning. He's not winning a Heisman as a defense, as an edge. He's not.
No.
But he's consistent, and that is good production, especially one against some of the best talent in college football in the SEC conference.
Yes.
Or the Southeastern Conference. 2, with teammates that are also most likely top level draft picks that are also out there trying to get stats.
And also, Riley, you know this, the way Georgia recruits and the way Kirby recruits, they rotate D linemen in and out to keep them fresh.
Exactly.
So,
so strong.
I don't know, man. To me, after watching Shamar Stewart, I'm like, just no. Like, if the Panthers really do take Shamar Stewart over Michael Williams at 8, they deserve all the bad things that are going to come with that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it, bro. I really don't get it.
Yeah, dude. Hey, listen, he ran very similar 40 numbers and had a strong broad jump. So, obviously he's a better athlete. That's what he just did, dude. I mean, that's it.
Yep. All right. Hang on. No. Hang on. Okay. Let's see. So in 3 years. So remember, Shamar Stewart, in 3 years at Texas A&M had 4.5 career sacks. You know how many career sacks Myles Garrett had in 3 years?
How many?
32.5.
Oh my God.
But dude, he's Myles Garrett. He's Myles Garrett, bro.
I feel like the comp isn't even there, dude. Why is the comp even here? Why are we even doing this?
Because they both went to Texas A&M. That's why.
And they both ran similar numbers. They're similar sized and have similar physical attributes. That's what it is. That's the crazy thing is they are just being like, hey, that one looks like the other one that was really good. You should get him. It's almost racist. I gotta be honest, dude. I gotta be real. Like they're not paying attention to these people. All these people that are saying this stuff, they don't know. They're not watching these games. They're not actually breaking this stuff down. They're just hearing names, seeing stuff, and being like, guess what? I know the truth. But unfortunately, the Trash Talk Tailgate, not unfortunately, fortunately, the Trash Talk Tailgate knows the truth.
We do, dude. Honestly, bro, the more I think about it, just because they don't even have a working website, so how can you trust them to do anything? Mm-hmm. I feel like the Jets might take Shamar Stewart at 7.
Go.
And save the Panthers from themselves.
How amazing would that be, dude? What's wrong with the Jets today?
I mean, dude, if that actually happened, we're going to be doing the draft live. Like, we're going to be doing a live stream for the draft, which I'm really excited about. You might actually see me and Riley both crash out if that happens.
Yeah. Big time. Big time. Yeah, no, that's
I don't know, man.
Insane. All right. Any last things to wrap up the Shamar Stewart, Michael Williams?
Just watch the film, man. Just watch the tape.
Watch it.
The tape doesn't lie to you. Just watch the tape.
Yeah.
Just watch the tape. Like at this point, I'm begging you to just go watch the tape. Like NFL teams, I am talking to you. Go watch the tape. And if you don't want to, go #hire the TTT and we'll watch the tape for you.
Yeah, we'll watch it. We'll give you our honest opinion. You can watch it on the live stream. That's the only way they can communicate with us.
Yeah.
We have NFL teams. They just have to watch our live stream. That's part of the contract.
Oh, my God.
So now we got to get to the doctor's specialty.
Ooh, I'm excited
the
for
house
this.
Specialty over here at the TTT. We got a little defensive back talk.
We do, and I'm really excited about it.
The DB talk, Dr. Preston, if you want to.
So this is Nick Eamon-Wari from the junior South Carolina safety. And I'm sure Riley will tell you, like, he was one of South Carolina's best, most consistent secondary players. Their secondary wasn't that great last year, but he was definitely like a bright spot in their secondary. And he definitely, I think the thing with him, if I had to describe it in kind of a few words, is that he's an athletic freak, but he's just very inconsistent. When he's on, he's on. You know, like he's very good at making up ground. He covers space really quickly. Like I said, he's very athletic. As you see right here for a Kentucky pick 6. You know, he's just not consistent. And that's the thing that worries me with him. Like, he's not very good coming downhill. He's very consistent coming downhill in the run fits as an alley player. Because as a safety, you have to come up and make tackles. Yeah. You know, he doesn't drive downhill with a lot of urgency sometimes. That kind of worries me. Now, these are all things that you can coach him out of. You know, I think the athletic ability is – I mean, dude, remember this? Oh, this was called back, but the LSU pick 6.
Oh, my God.
I remember watching this.
Yeah, this game was insane. I mean,
this game was insane.
I mean, this guy is, as a Clemson fan, someone that's watched, you know, him do some devious work.
Yeah.
This is a guy that you are worried about lining up against. I think you are correct that you could see him get exposed at times. But he also, and just to his credit, I will say, he feels like he does better in the higher pressure situations. Which, if you're going to get an inconsistent player, as I don't know, as the GM mind of me is going, let's get the dude that shows up when crunch time hits versus the dude that's there most times, but when the pressure's on, he folds.
Yeah. I mean, and to me, that goes back to the inconsistency because,
For sure.
you can kind of see, sometimes he doesn't always try as hard when it's not as urgent of a situation. But whenever he's on, he's on. Like, he is a freak athlete. Like I said, he's a physical specimen. I mean, dude, he's 6'3", 220 pounds. Like, he's built like a linebacker, but can run like a safety. And,
crazy,
but it is kind of a case of, he's not great in the run game at times. My thing with him is he's just inconsistent.
Yeah.
But when he's on, I mean, you can make an argument he's the best safety in the draft. And that's the thing I love about Malachi Starks. Malachi Starks at least is consistent. You know what you're getting with him. With Nicky Manwari, it can go either way. I think his ceiling is higher, but I mean, I don't know, man. Malachi Starks has a high ceiling too, just because of his high football IQ. And he's just, I really like both of these prospects, but I think they're very different. Nicky Manwari is a physical specimen. He's just inconsistent, and he's, he's not great in the run game. I think Malachi Starks is a better overall run defender, but I think Nicky Manwari, because of his speed and his size and his athleticism, I think he can be more of a center field safety that when it's a deep ball, he can go get it. He can go snatch that bitch out of the air. It's just with him, is he going to be focused and is he going to be consistent? But that's something that you can coach him out of. He was incredibly productive at South Carolina.
Yeah.
Just not as consistent as you'd like him to be.
Yeah. I think
Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. I think this is a guy that you're not going to draft as a day one starting safety.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see this guy coming in and being an immediate starter per se. Now, one thing I will say, I mean, if you look at his numbers, the man's good at finding the football. He's very good at, doing stuff with the football once he's found it as well.
Yes.
And I think he might be a guy that comes in and really cuts his teeth being, maybe a special teams guy, a special scenarios guy. But I think you're right with some work. I mean, he's got a ceiling that is very impressive. I mean, with a little bit of discipline, a little bit of technique, tweaking, and this guy is to be feared with his size.
Yeah. It's like if you have a raw chicken. You cook it and you just got to season it a little bit, and then you'll have something. You'll have, a great meal. But like a guy like Shamar Stewart, I don't even know. It's like half a box of chicken nuggets. Like, there's nothing you can do with that. You know what I mean? Like, there's just
honestly, I actually think it's I don't know, the analogy might be flipped, like this dude is some chicken nuggets that if you make them right, they're amazing. But if you don't do it just perfectly, they're just terrible.
Yeah.
It's like something like that. Like, if you don't heat it up right, it's not going to be good at all. But then you get someone like Malachi Starks, he's the Costco barely breaded chicken nuggets that are just like the Chick-fil-A nuggets that are insane no matter how you cook them. That's Malachi Starks.
I think Malachi Starks. And we have a short on me talking about him. So go watch that if you haven't already. It's really, really good, really well done. I think Malachi Starks, to me, the thing that separates him is just his football instincts and his high football IQ. He sees it and he's instantly he sees it before it happens almost.
Yeah.
And he's not a Nick Manwari athlete. He's not like a physical specimen, just out there. He's not going to win any, body or modeling contests.
As much as it hurts,
But
I'm gonna watch this.
yeah, I mean, just look at that dude. I mean, but he's athletic enough. Like, he's plenty athletic enough. He might not be a freak athlete, but he more than makes up for it for his incredibly high football IQ and just his instincts. Because, I mean, you watch him, man. Like, look how he plays that. He plays that perfectly.
What do we call it? Athletics by anticipation.
Yes.
A beautiful term. It's true, though. He isn't this ridiculous raw athlete talent, but he's smart and he's aware.
Yes.
He sees the field. He knows where to go, when to go there, how fast to go, and, who I'm trying to hit once I get there and how I'm trying to hit him. All of that stuff he's got figured out on the fly as he rolls. And that just makes him smooth. And that's what makes him so consistent.
Yes.
And, I think his consistency really shows up. Like, when you see, like, how much Malachi Starks kind of centers that Georgia defense when it comes to keeping passes in front of them, keeping teams from having deep shots, but also making plays. I mean, the man's got 6 total interceptions in a career. Like, never had a season in college football that didn't have a pick in it.
Yeah.
Like, he's a producer, man. He is a guy that will go in, find the football. He's a guy that will, make the tackle when it needs to happen.
He's just a consistent baller. Like, he's not going to blow you away athletically. He's athletic enough. I mean, he's just a consistent baller, and he does it with high football IQ and just great instincts and awareness and anticipation. I mean, and here's the other thing, Riley. You know how good he is. Like, how I know he's really good, not just by watching the tape.
How?
He started at Georgia as a freshman.
True.
In maybe the hardest secondary to play in as a freshman, with Kirby Smart's defense. Because as someone who has, like, sat in film rooms with guys who are going over Kirby Smart's defense, it's complex as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, it's complex as fuck. They have safeties doing everything. And he played multiple positions. He played star. He played nickel. He played safety. He played in the box. They line him up at corner. Like, he did everything. And he did it consistently well. Honestly, Riley, if you had to pick, if you were a GM, knowing what I've just told you and knowing what you've seen on film, if you had to pick a safety, who would you pick?
I mean, honestly, if I was looking for a DB in general, I think Malachi Starks he's my dude, just from what I've seen, all the stuff we've seen from him at Georgia, all the stuff that you're saying at the end of this. Like, when you look at his tape, when you look at his numbers, he is a guy that shows up and plays football and that I think will find a way to be useful.
Yes. I mean, you talked about it, Riley, like when we did the Tyler Warren video, the Tyler Warren draft video is coming out this week. You called him a Swiss Army knife of the offense because at Penn State, they gave him the ball however they could. They threw it to him, obviously, ran him on jet sweeps, direct snapped him the ball. To me, that's Malachi Starks. He's a Swiss Army Georgia Bulldog in a secondary. He's just going to make a defense better. He just is.
Yeah, no, he is a defensive Taysom Hill. He will do whatever you need, man. Whatever you need, he'll line up in any position. And I think that's what makes a guy like this just different. That's what makes him so good, is that he has that tenacity, that desire to go switch around. When you have that desire to go switch around and play different positions and all that kind of stuff, what that shows is that you're willing to learn, and you do learn well when you go out there and you're successful doing that. All that shows is that this kid can learn. He can go out there and he can pick up anything on the field that he tries. And that's just so valuable because you can do anything.
like you said, Riley, does this not seem like a Philadelphia Eagles just lock it in first round pick?
Oh man, dude. I said it, dude. They're gonna get Michael Williams or Malachi Starks. One of those two is probably gonna slip to them, and the Eagles are gonna walk away having made themselves a little bit stronger.
And everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my God, how'd you let that happen?" Well, maybe if the other NFL teams weren't fucking stupid, you know, and actually drafted good football players.
Oh man. The Bears. They're going for Ashton Genty. We all know it.
You had a good comp, Riley. Going back to Nick Eamon-Wari. You said drafting Eamon-Wari over Malachi Starks feels like the Commanders drafting Emmanuel Forbes over Christian Gonzalez.
Yeah, for sure. No, yeah.
Yeah.
100%. I think, and it's so real because Malachi Starks is this very polished, technical guy that has shown that he can show up.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, he's always made, like I said, he's not had a season where he's left an interception, but he's not crazy flashy, right?
No.
Where Nick Eamon-Wari, I mean, that dude had like 100-yard interception return for a touchdown once. Like, all these crazy, flashy, athletic plays that are legit, but he's inconsistent, like you said. So he has these insanely flashy moments where he does crazy stuff that make you go, "Wow, what an athlete!" But day in and day out, it's not necessarily always there. Where someone like Malachi Starks is going to give you 100% every time. He may never get 120, but you're never going to get 80. You're never going to get 90. You're always going to get 100.
Kirby Smart, I don't know if you watched Kirby Smart talk about Malachi Starks. He loves Malachi Starks.
Yeah.
Like he loves Malachi.
There goes his baby.
Yeah, dude. I mean, and I don't blame him. Shit, if I was Malachi Starks' coach, I would love that man too, because he's consistent with it day in and day out. And
I mean, look at him run down Jalen Milroe.
You know how hard that – I mean, bro, like he mirrors him perfectly. Jalen Milroe tries to give him a sidestep real quick, and he just, nope, I'm going to mirror you. I'm going to make the tackle. That's a hard play to make, dog, because you're coming downhill as a safety.
Yeah. Wraps the leg, make sure he can't go anywhere. Textbook.
Yep.
Look at this. This is Nico Amali for LA.
Yep.
And that's why he left, because he didn't want to have to deal with this anymore.
Didn't want to deal with Malachi Starks. That's textbook, bro. Look at that.
And also, on top of, not only does he defend the pass, I think even if this dude catches the ball, he's going out of bounds because Malachi Starks has forced him out of there. It's like he played that just so perfectly.
Yep.
Look at that. Reading the pitch, 2 yards. That's an open field.
Mark Stewart needs to learn how to read a pitch.
Yeah, right?
Fucking look, I mean, and look, the other thing you notice on tape is look at how many different spots he lines up at.
Yeah. He's been all over the field.
That's not a flashy play, but he makes the play. He does his job.
Yeah.
And it's a tackle for a loss.
Damn important.
Yes. Look at that.
And that's the thing. All of these things are important. This is a slant. This is like the most easy money offensive play that this, like, you know, that's a bread and butter play for most teams. And he just, it's insane. He's everywhere, but nowhere, but everywhere. Malachi Starks. The moral of the story is you should take Malachi Starks.
If you take Malachi Starks or Michael Williams, you're going to be very happy.
Trust
Which is why the Jets aren't going to do it. The Bears are definitely not going to do it.
Nah, the Jets, they're going to look for someone like lockdown corner Will Johnson. That's just what they call it. That's funny. Oh, my God. This is funny, though. Next, we're going to talk about Will Johnson.
We talked about a guy that I love, a guy that is inconsistent that I think has really big potential. Will Johnson's kind of in that Nick Eamon-Wari tier, I think, because his tape for the past 2 years, not this past year, but his tape for the past 2 years was really, really good. But, you know, he can play man coverage. I think he's a better man corner than Jahdae Barron. But I also think in this draft class, I think Will Johnson is at his best when he sees everything in front of him. He is a zone corner that can play man. I think Jahdae Barron struggles to play man coverage, but I think Will Johnson can do it better than Jahdae Barron. But I think he's at his best when he sees the ball. He's able to read and react. But I mean, dude, he's a gambler. I mean, look at this dude. Like he is sniping these balls for pick sixes. That's what he does. But you know what that means? You know what that means? He's also going to give up
big touchdowns,
big plays on double moves. Like if all you have to do is pump fake that bitch and run a wheel behind the screen, and it's a touchdown. Like he is a certified sniper. I mean, look at that, bro. Like he has great ball skills. He's a great sniper.
Yeah, no.
But the thing is I worry about his consistency. I feel like he's more of a Trayvon Diggs type. Like Trayvon Diggs a few years ago led the league in interceptions for the Dallas Cowboys. He's a gambler. He loves to just sit in those zones, and when he sees the ball, he's going to anticipate it being thrown, and he's going to snipe it, and it's probably going to be a pick six. But you can get beat deep with double moves with that. So that's the thing that I worry about with him.
Yeah, no, it's the classic.
It's
a classic you reach, you teach thing.
I feel, and then the other thing is I think Jahdae Barron has better body control to read. I feel like Will Johnson, once he sees it, he's just going to go. And I feel like Jahdae Barron is better under, like, trying to think of a word for it. I think Jahdae Barron plays more under control in sitting in zones.
Like,
does that make sense?
Yeah, like if Jahdae Barron is Will Johnson will be there and he'll most likely make a play, but Jahdae Barron's like he's going to be there and he's going to have the control to sit there and make a play.
Yes. Because like Will Johnson's going to gamble. He's going to go for the ball. Yeah. He's going to try to ball hawk the ball and make an interception. Jahdae Barron, he might not get the pick, but he'll be there to make the play.
Yeah, he'll make the tackle, make it a short loss, or make it a short gain, whatever he can do.
Yeah.
Where this dude, he's going for the house.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, look at him, dude. How many of his highlights are him just sniping the ball, just sitting in a zone?
Yeah, like, he is just going for it every single time. It's actually quite fun. I mean, he is literally just every boop, send it.
Yep.
He's like, what do you want to do? You want to line up? You want to line up? There's a seatbelt. What do you want to do? Whoop. Send it. I mean, that's a good open field tackle.
That's a great open field tackle. You know, I think he's also inconsistent at open field tackling. He also got hurt last year. You know, he had a turf toe injury that he suffered in October. So, you know, that I feel like this draft class in general doesn't have a lot of great man corners. They're all kind of zone corners, which is nothing wrong with that. But, you know, like Travis Hunter, again, his specialty is sitting in zones and reading and reacting to stuff. He's great at seeing where the ball is and breaking on it with a quick trigger to either make a play or make the tackle. That's what Jahdae Barron's great at. That's what Will Johnson is great at. But Will Johnson's going to key in on you. He's going to try to snipe you.
Yeah.
Which,
I mean,
it's very much boom or bust on a play-to-play basis. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. But 9 picks in 3 seasons.
That's insane.
Yeah, 9.
Like, you want to talk about production.
2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a guy that is going to swing for the fences. And I respect it. I mean, but you're right. It's a dangerous thing. This is the kind of guy I think, once again, I think this is the kind of guy you can't rely on to be a day one starter in the NFL.
No.
I think he's got to be a guy you bring in nickel situations, stuff like that, to kind of bolster your defense, to make them better, to give them big playability, but not necessarily to be like a cornerstone, at least not initially.
To me, I think a guy like this, because, you know, because he can play man coverage relatively well, he is going to be probably an outside corner day one. Like, he's going to be like a legit cornerback, not just a nickel. I think his ideal situation would be to go to a place like the Broncos, where they already have a lockdown, shutdown corner in Patrick Surtain on one side. And that way, you don't even have to worry about that. And that allows him to do what he does best by sitting in zones and trying to snipe balls and try to key on, quarterback passes.
Yeah.
Try to make a play on it, because you got Patrick Surtain over there holding it down in man coverage. And that allows you to have a safety or maybe even two safeties over the top to help you in double moves.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah, exactly. It allows him to be able to play low because they don't have to worry about one side of the field with someone elite like Patrick Surtain. So what you're saying is he needs to be opposite an absolute lockdown to allow him to kind of roam free and allow him to have the option to make the play that he sees.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
he can't be a cornerback one. He's too inconsistent and will allow a big shot.
Yeah.
That's what you worry.
I think he's great at what he does. I mean, you saw it.
Yeah,
man.
no,
9
interceptions.
interceptions.
9
He's great at what he
interceptions in 3
does.
seasons is devious work. Absolute devious work. This dude is serious. He's legit. And I think he's one of the most legit corner playmakers in this draft by far. But like you said, he's not a guaranteed lockdown. And the only problem with that is, if a team doesn't have someone like that, it can limit your defense. You got to make sure you have safeties on both sides, or at least, you're aware of when you don't and stuff like that. So, I think you're right. I mean, if he goes to someone like the Broncos, though, I think that could be a match made in heaven and something that he, could allow him to truly be his best self.
Yeah.
I don't think the Dolphins, even though the Dolphins really won them, with them losing Jalen Ramsey.
I don't know if I like that fit for him in Miami. I don't really know what the Dolphins are doing in general, to be honest. They're one of those teams that I just kind of expect to make bad decisions. I don't know.
But as much as you like Will Johnson, PFF thinks Travis Hunter is better.
I think that's insane. Like I said, Travis Hunter, to me, he is a nickel. So here's my thing about this whole cornerback situation. I don't care if you love Will Johnson. I personally love Jahdae Barron, even though I think he is a pure nickel corner. I think Jahdae Barron has the best consistent potential to be a really good starter in the league as a nickel, because he doesn't play man coverage well enough to be a legit outside corner, like a lockdown corner. But if you get him in the middle of the defense, we kind of talked about it in the video. Go watch the Jahdae Barron video that's coming out later this week. Riley, I think you summed it up best. He is a shallow water predator. He sees it. He sees everything in front of him, and he's just there to make plays. But if he has to make plays deep, he struggles with it. He is best in close. He is best when everything is in front of him and he's just able to read and react and quick trigger on the ball, either to make a play or to make a tackle.
Yeah.
But with Travis Hunter, he's the same thing. But Travis Hunter has the exact same skill set as a corner that Jahdae Barron does. But Jahdae Barron's better as a corner. So here's my thing. Jahdae Barron's projected to go in the late first round because he's projected as a nickel corner. So if you are going to take Travis Hunter, people are saying top 3. I don't think he'll get out of the top 3 on Thursday. And you expect him to play corner full time? Why are you taking a worse nickel corner in the top 3 over a full-time nickel corner that's projected to go late first round?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
It just don't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Now, I wouldn't play him full-time at corner. I would play him full-time at wide receiver. I think his special elite ability is his ability to high point and leap over guys and go snag the ball out of the air. He is elite at that. And that's why I think he'll be an instant red zone threat. Like, dog, just throw a fade up to Travis Hunter. He'll go get it. I don't care who's guarding him. He's going to go get the football. And that was really, I call it an easy button. That was, if you watch Colorado last year, they had an easy button with Travis Hunter where just throw it up to him. He'll go get it. Like, they just use that easy button a bunch. But to me, he is a better wide receiver. I think he's a good route runner. But I don't think he's that good in man coverage. And I think he's a much better zone corner, sitting in zones and reading and reacting. But that's not why you're taking a corner top 5.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
To me, I don't get it. I don't understand it. If you want the best use of Travis Hunter, you play him full-time at wide receiver and you play him at nickel on 3rd and long. Like, dog, can you imagine, like, on a huge play, like, you need to get a stop on defense and Travis Hunter comes out onto the field? All of a sudden, like, the middle of the field is basically shut down.
Yeah.
Because he's a freak athlete and he's just going to sit in the zone and he's going to be able to read and make a play.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. I think he's a much better full-time wide receiver than he is a full-time corner. If you draft him as a full-time corner and a part-time wide receiver, you're going to be disappointed, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, 100%.
I think it's misusing him, kind of like everyone misused Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah.
Just watch the tape, man. He's not that good at corner. And he specializes at corner in sitting in zones. But Jahdae Barron's better than him. Will Johnson is better than him. So I don't get where these people are coming up with, Travis Hunter's the best corner in this draft. I don't see it. I just don't see it. So
yeah, everybody's getting dazed
All
by
I do
the
is have a
Heisman.
really good what?
I said everybody gets dazed by the Heisman.
They do.
But it's a Heisman that he earned from playing both sides of the ball. That's why he earned that Heisman, is because he was very good in 2 sides of the ball. But I think something that anybody that watched more than a handful of Colorado games, yeah, no, right? But someone that watched, is anyone who watched, like, more than just a few Colorado games, I think what you would see is Travis Hunter had a consistent problem of getting beat, man coverage, deep routes, stuff like that. Like, he could get exposed.
He doesn't have great technique as a corner.
And so I think if a team's drafting him to rely on him to do that, you obviously missed the thing. And, could it be taught to him? Listen, he's an amazing athlete with the right coach. Sure. But why waste pick 1, 2, 3, whatever it's going to be? That rhymed. Hope everybody enjoyed that. Pick 1, 2, 3, whatever it's going to be on someone who might be a shutdown corner when you could use him as a very talented wide receiver that can also come in and help add some swagger and some stopping power to your defense when the situation calls for it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Riley, I'm sure you know this. Like, as a DB coach, technique is everything.
Yeah.
I don't care how great of an athlete you are. You have got to have great technique, especially at the NFL level. In college, you get away with bad technique. You can win Heisman's playing both ways with bad technique. But he does not have the consistently great technique to be a shutdown, lockdown corner in the NFL. He stands up way too much out of his back pedal. He relies way too much on athleticism. He doesn't use his hands all the time. Like, I don't get it, man. This is going to be a theme for the next week or so. Just go watch the tape, man. Yeah. Go watch the tape.
So
I'm at this point, I'm begging y'all, go watch the tape and see for yourself.
Would you say that Travis Hunter is a strong case of off season overhype?
that might be the greatest thing we've ever made. I'm not going to lie. But yes. So, Riley, speaking of that, I don't know if you saw this. Travis Hunter made a bunch of headlines like a few days ago saying that if a team doesn't let him play both ways in the NFL full time, he's just not going to play football. And to that, I say cap.
Yeah,
You're going to give up $40 million because the team only wants you to play one way? I'm sorry, that's not happening. It's not happening. And you're not – I was really impressed with it because I didn't think it could be done in college. It definitely cannot be done in the NFL unless you want to have like a 3-year career. Because the wear and tear on your body playing cornerback and wide receiver is going to be so much of a physical toll. It's just not going to work, man. Like, I think he can do both. I think he can do both, one full-time and one in a part-time role, like I said, but not both full-time. And that's what apparently he wants to do. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't get why a guy would want to force himself in that kind of position. I feel like you're literally getting the best of both worlds, being a full-time one, part-time other, like you said. And I think for his skill set, like we said a bunch of times in this little segment, and we'll say it again, wide receiver, full-time, part-time corner. Let him –
part-time nickel corner, but yeah.
Yeah, part-time nickel corner. Someone that's going to come in on a long down where you know there's going to be a pass or, like, you know, where it's, you know, high chance, high probability there's going to be a pass from the defense. You know, stuff like that. And, you know, him being like, nah, dude, I want to play both sides of the ball the whole time. Why, dude? What kind of problem do you have? What kind of problem in your life do you have that makes you want to hurt yourself so bad? What kind of problem do you have? I don't get it.
I don't get it either. Here's
I
the
don't
other
get
thing,
it, Travis Hunter. What kind of problem do you have?
In college, you have a limited amount of time by the NCAA for how long you can practice and how much you can be around your team. Like, you know, it's like 25 hours a week that we can be, like, the coaches can be around players and actually do organized team activities. In the NFL, this is your job.
Yeah.
And if you want to be great, you don't have enough time in the day to perfect your craft at both. Because it takes hours and hours of film study on each wide receiver that you're going to be guarding for that week, or the DB that you're going to be going up against. You know, you need to know every little tendency that they have. You need to get extra work in with your position coaches. If you want to be great as a football player, you can't do it both. Like, you can't be great at both. You have to choose one.
Yeah.
You can do it in a part-time role, but not both full-time. It's not going to work.
I mean, the only way I could see both being even measurably possible was with one of the greatest analytical staffs to just devise the game plan for like each side of the ball and then just give him everything in like the most concise highlights possible, you know? Like every like tendency, all of the stuff for whoever he's facing that week, he just needs like a whole analytical team just to handle all that work for him. That's the only way that could be possible. Him to have his own scouting department.
But so Riley, you're telling me that you trust either the Titans, the Browns, or the Giants to be able to do that for him?
Yep, I think the Giants can do it. They've definitely proved that they can solidly run an organization. I think they should go out of their way and make sure to bring in Travis Hunter as aggressively as they can, because obviously he's going to solve all their issues.
He is, dude.
I don't know what
Never mind the fact that they have a shit offensive line for the 15th straight year. Never mind the fact that, you know.
Hey, guess what, Preston? Offensive linemen don't have to block with a pick six.
That's true. It's true.
That's a solid argument.
Oh my god, dude, that might be the God. I bet the Giants didn't even think of that argument.
No, they didn't even. They're going to make the choice, and they're not even thinking of the big arguments that I'm thinking of.
No. I mean, Riley, I'm so excited for the draft, man. Even though this is a shitty draft, as you know,
Yeah,
the
dude, terrible
quarterbacks
draft.
suck. Therefore, this draft sucks.
Yeah, no good players in this draft at all. Worst lineman draft in years. Back to the John A. Barron shark. Like this is a terrible draft. But no matter what, if you show up Thursday to this channel at 7:30,
Ooh.
you'll be able to watch us talk about the draft and live react to probably like the first round, maybe a little bit more. We'll see how far we get.
We'll
Truly
see how
and
far
daily.
we get. Yeah.
And
Yep.
but I think for this one, Dr. Preston, I think it's been a good one.
I think it's been a great one, dog.
I think it
I'm
has.
excited
man.
for the draft, man.
I'm so excited.
Come
for the
see us
draft.
with the draft. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe. We really appreciate it. We've got a lot of really great stuff coming out for y'all. We do it for y'all because we love to talk ball here, man. We just love to talk ball with the fans and all the TTT guys out here. So really appreciate it.
We appreciate everybody for tuning in.
Yeah.
For this one, we're going to clean it up and get out of here, y'all. Peace. I said.